Roger Joy has grafted antique fruit varieties onto thousands of trees at his wholesale nursery in Corvallis. He learned the art at a nursery in Oregon. When he moved to the Bitterroot more than 40 years ago, he was in high demand.
I've been showing some of the very old special old varieties that have been here for over 100 years, and we've been trying to keep them going since then. The old original Mac, the old Wealthy, that's still around here, and that was known for its cider. We have Ashmead Kernel, that's the same one that Thomas Jefferson had at Monticello.
And that's just a few of the fruit trees found here. They were especially prevalent during the Bitterroot's apple boom.
Several hundred varieties represented here. Many varieties are extinct now. They're just gone. They're no longer available.
Years ago, just about everybody had at least a little orchard, a kitchen orchard. And sometimes somebody rediscovers one of those old trees that nobody remembers.
Those that have survived all these years are wonderful treasures.
To keep the antiques going, you graft or bond a preserved cutting or scion onto a living tree of the same species. To illustrate, the nurseryman shows us a piece of red dogwood grafted onto a willow whip.
The definition of a graft is uniting two living pieces of tissue.
Roger keeps his carefully labeled scions in a cooler, old varieties waiting to be transformed into branches that will bear fruit.
We're going to put Calville Blanc d'Hiver, that's this piece, on this lateral branch coming off here. This is the apple King Louis VIII was making his tarts out of in 1599. So I'm going to make a nice, long, smooth, tapered cut.
Roger splices the heritage apple on a semi-dwarf Macintosh.
A semi-dwarf Macintosh with a snow apple top.
The snow apple's a French apple from the 1700s.
Three very old antique varieties on one canopy. The base variety down here is called Good Mac, and that's a cross between Macintosh and Goodland. The guys that live in town that don't have a lot of room will have 3 or 4 varieties in the same canopy. And this will also help for pollination. That bee won't have to fly very far to pollinate one from the other.
Helping Roger is Molly Crawford. She's been working with him off and on since she was 15.
I was just so impressed. She smoked all those high school football players when it came to working out in the field.
Role model, mentor. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Molly successfully bud grafted as many as 900 trees, many of them heirloom varieties.
It's important to keep these vintage fruits alive. I mean, they're classics for a reason.
The trees offer a tangible history of some of the valley's most prominent pioneer farms, like Otto Quast, Duchess of Oldenburg.
Otto Quast told me that there was no reason to make an apple pie out of anything but this. His grandmother planted that tree.
Roger's grafted plums, pie cherries, and pears, like George Frost's pear tree.
And George won the blue ribbon with this every year he put it in the fair.
There are grafts from this old Macintosh that stands at the Western Agricultural Research Center. He's taken grafts from Father Ravalli's ancient tree at St. Mary's Mission.
I got Gravenstein from Libby McClay up out of Florence up there. That's another variety that goes back to the 1700s.
You know, I see a cool trend again is that people want those kitchen orchards.
At 72, Roger wants to slow down.
That's supposed to be my retirement program out there, Kev. There's 200 trees out there. That's a crab apple that I'm very, very proud of.
The Kirk crab.
We want to get it into the school system if we can, and it's one of the best ciders you'll ever try.
Roger says the nursery is in good hands.
Trying to retire, but Molly's going to take over, and I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure she's successful.
And I get to save a lot of trees.
Molly says she's learned and is still learning from the fruit tree master. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.